There were two things this week that really stood out as to what clients were asking me, situations I dealt with. So I want to talk about both of those things today on this Friday afternoon. The first thing is about trademarks. And, something about trademarks that you may not know is that for each mark, and a mark can be your name, it can be your logo, it can be a symbol, something that you want to protect from other people using it. So a trademark, though, that the mark may go into different classes. So you may want to trademark your logo, but you're going to put your logo on a backpack, or you're going to put it on some shoes, and you're going to put it on a water bottle, and you're going to put it on a lipstick case. Each of those is a different class, and you have to apply for each of those classes. And then maybe you also want to trademark your name in addition to your logo. So that's another mark, and you have to trademark that for each of these classes. So if you're going to put that name on your your shoes, you're going to put it on the backpack, you're going to put it on the lipstick case, the water bottle, all these things you want to put these items on, you have to apply per class. So per mark, per class. And that is roughly $350 for just for filing fee for each one. So that gets expensive quickly. And then you add attorney's fees on top of that. And what we do as trademark attorneys is we will search for you and do a comprehensive search and render an opinion as to whether or not that mark um, can be trademarked, or if there's someone else using it, or if it's too close to or too similar to somebody else's mark. And so you may have the idea that, well, I'm just going to use this and all I have to do is trademark this name and voila, it's done. Unfortunately, it is you trademark that name, but you have to trademark it for the different classes, the different uses that you will have for it. So it can get expensive real fast. And you want to hire an attorney to do those things for you to make sure it's done correctly and properly. So that's one of the things I dealt with trademarks this week and some of the questions I had about trademarks this week. The other thing is on my estate planning, estate administration side is I had a lot of consults this week with people who have lost a loved one recently. And the question is, what do I do now? What are we supposed to do? And it is so hard. I mean, I know you have a lot going on. You're dealing with the loss of a loved one. You're trying to deal with the grief, particularly if it was a shock, if this was something that they had not been sick, or maybe if they had been sick, but you were expecting them to recover. This is a difficult time for a lot of reasons, but there is a business side to someone passing away. So the first thing you want to do after you have um, done everything with the funeral home, had the funeral, those things, you want to talk to a lawyer. You want to find out what needs to be done on the legal side of things. Typically, when someone comes and talks to me, I'll first start asking about their assets and how they're titled. Do they have a bank account? Was the bank account in their own name, or was it jointly owned so that upon the death, the first person automatically goes to the second person? And if it wasn't jointly owned, did they have a payable on death beneficiary on their account? And then we talk about a house. Do they have a house with just their name on it, or was someone else on it where they right of survivorship? And we'll talk about businesses. This week was a lot of people, even in my estate planning consultations, I had a lot of questions about business succession plans. So if you own a business, what will happen when you die? Do you have a plan in place? Do you have a plan in your operating agreement? Do you have a plan within your estate planning documents as to what will happen to your business upon your death? You need to make that plan. You need to have something in place so that that business can either continue running or it can be passed off to someone without a lot of legal wrangling, without, there may be everything else may be taken care of in an estate plan, but your business, we may have to open an estate simply for your business. So be sure you talk with an estate planning lawyer about, if you have a business, talk to them about that, what to do. But that is one of the things I've had to answer questions about several times this week when it comes to businesses and how to wrap that business up, when someone passed away, or if they, if they've already done, they already have passed away. A few of them have, and then some were making the plans in their estate plan. But then when someone comes to me and says, what do I do? So I talk to them about their assets. Then I talk to them about the practical side of things. What can be done without having to open an estate? Most people don't want to open an estate. Sometimes we don't have a choice. We have to do that. And in Alabama, it's not quite as bad as you might think. It's not quite as expensive as it might be if you have a will. If you don't have a will, then it's going to be difficult. There's just a lot more hoops to jump through. There's a lot more things to jump through. So hopefully you have done your will, or your loved one has. If your loved one has not done their will, then you'll have to file a bond. So we'll talk about that. You've got to file a bond, which is through the insurance company. You've got to do an inventory and file an inventory with the court. And then we have to talk about creditors, whether they have a will or not. Were there any creditors? Were there expenses of the last illness? So all these things will get talked about and discussed. So what you need to do is start kind of gathering these information, this paperwork and information together. Monitor their mail. If you have access and legal access to their email and other things, to be checking those and monitoring that to see what's coming through, if there are any bills coming in, if there's any creditors out there. You also want to start gathering life insurance policies, retirement policies, and all their assets to see who the payable on death beneficiaries are, and begin doing that process, notifying those people, notify Social Security that the person has passed away. If they're receiving retirement now, notify that retirement company so that those checks will stop. Notify the bank so that the bank can monitor, and most banks will put a freeze on the account when that person has passed away. So there are a lot of little things to do. And sometimes it may seem overwhelming when you're already dealing with so much grief and fear and questions. But the best way to deal with that fear and deal with the questions is to talk to an estate planning, or a probate lawyer who has gone down this road with clients before and can answer those questions for you and give you the knowledge that you need to help put your mind at ease as to what steps to take. I'm Tanya Hendrix, Huntsville Estate Planning Attorney. I'm Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer, LLC, and you can find me at huntsvilleestateplanninglawyers.com. If you have a trademark question or a trademark need, or if you have just recently lost a loved one and need to probate their estate, or have questions about whether or not you even need to probate the estate, you can give me a call at 256-361-1221. Again, it's 256-361-1221. I'm Tanya Hendrix, Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer. And if you like this video, please like, and you can subscribe to the channel and get updates on the law, the different aspects of estate planning, trademarks, and copyrights. And you'll get notified anytime I post a video, which is twice a week. Y'all have a great day, and show me some love. Like the video. Thanks.